The First World War, 1914 to 1918. 4 years that changed the world forever. A war unlike any before. It was a conflict that saw unprecedented levels of destruction and loss of life. Millions of men faced each other across muddy battlefields. Machine guns spat bullets, mowing down waves of soldiers. Artillery rained down fire and steel, creating a hellish landscape of craters and shattered earth. It was a bloody stalemate. The front lines barely moved, and the cost in human lives was staggering. Both sides were desperate for a way to break the deadlock. Generals and strategists searched for any possible advantage. They looked for new weapons, new tactics, anything to gain an advantage. Innovation became a necessity in the face of such brutal warfare. This search led to a terrifying development: poison gas. A weapon that brought a new level of horror to the battlefield, causing indiscriminate suffering and death. At first, the British were horrified by the German use of gas. They called it barbaric, inhumane. But the war dragged on and the death toll mounted. Something had to give. British commanders argued that gas was a necessary evil. They said it could break the stalemate, save lives in the long run. They convinced the government to approve its use. September 25th, 1915, Loos, France. The air was thick with anticipation and dread. The British Army prepared for a major offensive, their faces a mix of determination and anxiety. They knew this battle could change the course of the war. Among their weapons, 140 tons of chlorine gas, a new and terrifying addition to their arsenal. This was a weapon designed to break the stalemate of trench warfare. As the attack began, British soldiers released the gas from cylinders dug into their trenches. The hiss of the gas escaping was a sound that would haunt many. A greenish-yellow cloud drifted towards the German lines, moving slowly but inexorably. It was a sight both mesmerizing and terrifying. It was a horrifying sight, a new kind of terror unleashed on the battlefield. Soldiers on both sides had never seen anything like it. The Germans, caught off guard, panicked. They had no effective defense against this invisible enemy. Many fled, choking and gasping for air. The gas burned their lungs and eyes, leaving them disoriented and in agony. The battlefield was transformed into a scene of chaos and suffering. Poison gas was a terrifying weapon. It was invisible, indiscriminate, and deadly. It could seep into trenches, bunkers, anywhere without warning. The soldiers had no way to escape its deadly embrace. Soldiers described the feeling of drowning, their lungs burning, their eyes stinging. The gas would cling to their clothes, their skin, making every breath a struggle. Many died a slow, agonizing death, gasping for air that would never come. The battlefield became a scene of horror and despair. Even those who survived were often left with permanent damage, blinded, scarred, haunted by the experience. The psychological scars were as deep as the physical ones. Poison gas attacks were a constant fear, a reminder of the brutality of this new kind of war. Soldiers lived in perpetual dread, knowing that at any moment the invisible enemy could strike again, bringing with it a wave of death and suffering.